Chapter 317. Su Yu told me himself, is that accurate? Huasiqian smiled mysteriously. This time, Hu Zhenghai was completely shocked. He knew that Huasiqian wouldn't give out fake news, especially when he was talking to him. If Su Yu really did like Huamin. If this is true, then that's great. Our Hua family's glory days are just around the corner. Hu Zhenghai nodded in satisfaction. However, Xinjiani reminded him, Master, it's too early to be happy. That girl already announced that she's no longer related to us. I'm afraid we won't be able to take advantage of it. So what if she's no longer related to us? She's still a child of the Hua family. As long as I can confirm that it's true, I'll be able to find the Su family. The Su family naturally wants to marry a respectable daughter-in-law, and only I can give Huamian an honorable identity. After Hu Zhenghai finished speaking, everyone fell silent. Everyone had their own agenda. Jiang Hong didn't say anything, but she also had her own plans. Xinjiani knew that no matter what her master decided, he would always think about her children. When Huasiqian heard his father's words, he just wanted to chuckle. He really wanted to ask Hu Zhenghai, Dad, are you really not thinking too much? They were all thinking about marriage. Of course, none of them knew that Huamin was already with Qin Chu. Huasiqian was the only one who knew about this, just like when they were still in school. Because he paid too much attention to Huamin, he was always the first to know about Huamin's secret. Zhu Lingling slept all day. In the afternoon, she got up to shower and change her clothes before going out for a walk. That was when Deng Kai called her. She had turned off her phone all day and had just turned it back on. Deng Kai asked her to meet him at her place, so Zhu Lingling gladly agreed. Nothing would happen during the day, and it was under her own building. As expected, Deng Kai drove a Toyota Prado and waited there. Zhu Lingling didn't say anything and slapped him across the face. Just like Huamin, the slap was crisp and clear. Scumbag, I'm returning this slap to your face. We're breaking up. After speaking, Zhu Lingling turned around and left. Lingling, wait. It's impossible between us, you don't have to say anything. Zhu Lingling thought that Deng Kai was begging her to make up. I'm not asking for peace. I just want to advise you to pack your things and run away with your best friend. Leave this place, okay? What do you mean? Break up with you? Can't you tolerate us anymore? Zhu Lingling turned around and glared at Deng Kai. It's not me, it's young Master Zhou. He has already said that he won't let this matter rest. Based on my understanding of him, he will take revenge very soon. The way your friend treated him last night has completely angered the Zhou family. What about my friend? Zhu Lingling froze slightly when she heard the hidden meaning in Deng Kai's words. Didn't she tell you that she almost killed Zhou Guangming last night to take you away? Deng Kai looked at Zhu Lingling meaningfully. Killed Zhou Guangming? Zhu Lingling was dumbfounded. Why didn't Huamin mention such a big thing? Zhu Lingling was furious. She grabbed Deng Kai's collar and said, Tell me, what happened last night? Deng Kai told Zhu Lingling everything that happened last night. Zhu Lingling's face turned from white to black, then from black to purple. Huamin went there alone, saved her, and almost killed someone. Qin Chu didn't go, and Huamin really did go there alone. Oh my God, what stupid thing did she do to almost kill Huamin? Seeing Zhu Lingling's dumbfounded expression, Deng Kai continued, After all, we were together once. Although I never thought about marrying you, it wasn't just for fun. Since we've been together for so long, I'll give you a piece of advice. You should hurry up and leave with your friends. It's best if your family moves away too. Otherwise, your parents won't be able to escape the blame. Young Master Zhou is still in the hospital. Once he's discharged, the Zhou family will start to seek revenge. What the fuck is wrong with this world? We're the victims. Why should we run? Zhu Lingling cursed. It can't be helped. This is the world of the rich. Whoever has the most power is the father. The Zhou family has a big business and a lot of money. If they hire someone to kill, they can wipe out your whole family in a matter of minutes. I'm not trying to scare you, but the most important thing is that good sister of yours. I think she'll end up even worse. After Deng Kai left, Zhu Lingling calmed down and called Huamin. What's wrong? Are you sober now? Huamin chuckled as if nothing had happened. Girl, why didn't you tell me the truth about what happened last night? Zhu Lingling's tone was very serious. Chapter 318. What truth? Huamin didn't plan on telling Zhu Lingling the truth, so he pretended not to know. Deng Kai told me everything. Oh, he told you everything. It's not a big deal, we're both fine. Huamin smiled faintly and said in a relaxed tone, Damn it, are you stupid? You almost lost your life, do you know that? Zhu Lingling couldn't hold it in anymore and burst into tears. It's not that serious, I was just scaring that scumbag. I won't actually kill him, he has to pay for it with his life. Bullshit, don't lie to me. Do you think I don't know what kind of person you are? Zhu Lingling was crying so hard that her makeup was ruined, and the dark circles under her eyes attracted a lot of attention. What are you looking at? Go away, Zhu Lingling cursed at the onlookers. Sis, don't cry, I'm not dead yet, right? Plus, if I didn't put my life on the line, how could I have gotten you out of the tiger's den so easily? Those people aren't idiots, right? Damn it, Huamin, you're lucky you're fine. If something really happened to you, Qin Chu would have cut me into pieces, put me in a pot of boiling oil, and put me on a mountain of knives. Zhu Lingling didn't even dare to imagine how Qin Chu, who always spoiled his wife, would feel if he knew that Huamin was almost killed. I'm fine, right? I've always been lucky. Huamin smiled. Deng Kai, that scumbag, told me to run away because the Zhou family is going to take revenge. Forget about running away. If they want to kill you, it's not safe anywhere. Plus, I think the most dangerous place is the safest place, Huamin calmly analyzed. Why run? With Mr. Qin here, who would dare to touch a hair on your head? But you still have to be careful when you go to and from work. Yes, I'll be careful. You should also ask Uncle and Auntie and the others to hide for a while and go on a trip or something. Okay, I'll arrange it. When Zhu Lingling hung up the phone, she said seriously, Girl, I will remember what you have done for me. If you need me one day, my life is yours. Cut the crap. Why would I want your life? It's not worth anything. Afraid that Zhu Lingling would be too emotional, Huamin immediately hung up the phone. Needless to say, her friendship with Zhu Lingling had been so good for so many years. When she was in need of money, Zhu Lingling would transfer money to her without hesitation. She would do whatever she could. Huamin thought that at her age, she was no longer an ignorant little girl. She had matured. She didn't want to please anyone anymore. She would stay with whoever she was happy with. If she was tired, she would stay away. It was better to please herself than to please others. She would rather be alone than go against her heart. She would rather have regrets than compromise. It was still the same saying. Those who didn't win her heart, she wouldn't care about them. Those who could win her heart, she would treat them like a king. And in her heart, Qin Chu was an absolute king. However, she still didn't know what happened to her king last night. He didn't even respond to her the entire day. Huamin tried to send a WeChat red packet over. It wasn't a lot, it was just to test the waters. 88 yuan. The other side immediately accepted it. Huamin was instantly in a good mood. He sent a WeChat message over. Mr. Qin, are you busy today? He waited for a long time, but there was no reply. What was going on? In a fit of anger, Huamin posted on his WeChat friend circle, if you send someone a WeChat red packet and they accept it, but they don't reply when you send them a WeChat message, what's going on? He didn't expect to see a comment right after he posted it. Huamin thought it was that brat, Zhish. However, he didn't expect it to be Qin Chu. He commented, then you must have done something wrong to him. Huamin wanted to cry, but no tears came out. He replied, Mr. Qin, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm innocent. I swear to God, I've been loyal to you recently. Let the heavens and the earth be my witness. Then, Qin Chu went silent again. He was still playing the silent game. Huamin was scared out of her wits the entire afternoon. When he got home from work, she waited for him. Finally, when it was almost 8 o'clock, Qin Chu opened the door and came home. Mr. Qin, you've worked hard today. Do you want coffee or tea? Huamin tried his best to please him. I don't want to talk to you. After saying this, Qin Chu directly walked upstairs. Finally, Huamin couldn't take it anymore. Qin Chu, you bastard, stop right there. Chapter 319. Upon hearing what Huamin said, Qin Chu finally stopped in his tracks. Don't you think you went overboard? Huamin puffed up her cheeks and asked angrily. Shouldn't I be the one saying that? Qin Chu turned around and stared at Huamin. Please, don't beat around the bush like this. If you have something to say, just say it. Don't you think it's weird for us to be like this? Huamin really didn't like the way Qin Chu ignored her. It was really annoying. Upon hearing her question, Qin Chu turned around and walked down the stairs. He walked up to Huamin step by step and looked into her eyes for 3 seconds. Okay, then I'll ask you again. Where did you go last night? What happened? Think about it before you answer me. Upon hearing Qin Chu mention what happened last night, Huamin had a bad feeling. Especially when Qin Chu looked at her so sharply, Huamin felt that Qin Chu probably knew about it. So she asked tentatively, I didn't want what happened last night either. But it still happened, didn't it? Did Lingling tell you? Huamin thought that other than Zhu Lingling, no one else would tell Qin Chu. No need, I have my ways of finding out. But you didn't even tell me about such a big thing. Do you still think of me as your husband? Or are you just a decoration in the house? From what Qin Chu said, she could tell that he was really angry. What he was most angry about was that Huamin always made her own decisions and hid things from him. He was so worried about her, but she refused to say anything. As expected, Qin Chu knew everything. Huamin bit her lip and thought for a moment. In the end, she decided to tell him everything. She took Qin Chu's hand and sat down on the sofa. Then, she briefly told him what happened last night. Of course, she simplified it a lot. However, what she didn't know was that Qin Chu had even watched the video. How could he not know what had happened? That's what happened. I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to worry. Besides, I'm back in one piece, aren't I? Next time, can you think of talking to me first before you have any problems? Didn't you go on a business trip to the neighboring city? Even if I drove back, I wouldn't have made it in time. Lingling was in such a dangerous situation, and I was too anxious. Huamin tried to find an excuse. I'm not in the city, but I can use my connections. Although I just came back not long ago, I'm still the president of GK. Your husband is a boss, not a loser. We've known each other for so many years, don't you trust me that much? Qin Chu frowned and questioned, I was wrong. Huamin finally lowered his head. What's wrong? I shouldn't have hidden this from you. I should have told you last night. No, you should have told me as soon as Zhu Lingling sent you that WeChat message. I would have arranged everything so that you wouldn't be in danger alone, Qin Chu added. Yes. You're always right. Huamin immediately nodded. He was afraid that Qin Chu would continue to scold him. You only know how to brush me off. You say that every time, but you still make mistakes. Qin Chu obviously wasn't going to let it go so easily. Seeing that he was about to be scolded again, Huamin immediately coughed a few times. I'm sorry. I know I was wrong. Next time, be careful, Huamin stuttered. Then she clutched her chest as if she was in pain. Sure enough, seeing her like this, Qin Chu immediately walked up to her worriedly. He gently patted her back and asked gently, Look, did you catch a cold? Chapter 320. I think I caught a cold. It's autumn now, so the weather is a little cold, Huamin replied softly. Qin Chu's heart ached as he covered her with a blanket from the sofa. Then, he walked into the kitchen and made a bowl of brown sugar ginger water to warm her up. Huamin smiled smugly as she held the warm brown sugar ginger water. She knew that no matter how resourceful Qin Chu was, he would immediately panic as soon as she showed the slightest sign of weakness. He couldn't even tell if she was really sick or if she was just faking it. The next day, after Huamin went to work, Deputy Director Gua called out to Huamin in a meeting. What is it, Deputy Director Gua? Huamian, Southside recently selected an outstanding employee. I've submitted your application. As soon as President Wu approves it, I'll immediately give you a bonus of 20,000 yuan. It's okay, Deputy Director Gua. I don't think I'm that outstanding. I'm just doing my job. Huamin definitely didn't want to be in the limelight and fight for an Outstanding Employee Award. To be honest, she didn't think she was that outstanding. Moreover, she was different from when she first started working at the first hospital. Back then she was quite poor. She needed money, so she went all out and asked the head nurse for money as a reward. Now that she didn't need money, she just wanted to do her job well. She might as well give the bonus to someone who needed it. Otherwise, she wouldn't deserve it. Hey, I said I'd choose you. Young Master who gave us so much funding. Isn't it all thanks to you? Deputy Director Gua mentioned Wuxia again, which made Huamin feel disgusted. Deputy Director Gua, I'm sorry. Wuxia and I aren't close. He's him and I'm me. You don't have to take extra care of me because of him. Hey, I understand. I won't tell anyone. Don't worry, just do your job. Deputy Director Gua didn't seem to understand what Huamin was trying to say. He purposely said those words to take credit before he left. Huamin felt really depressed during lunch break. A black Rolls-Royce slowly stopped in front of Southside Recuperation Center. After Hu Jinghai got out of the car, he was followed by 2 bodyguards and a driver. Perhaps because of his poor health and fear of catching a cold, there was a bodyguard holding an umbrella for him. Dressed in a black cashmere coat, Hu Jinghai looked like an aristocrat with a serious expression on his face. When Huamin saw him at the door of his office, he first glanced at him, then lowered his head and continued to organize the reports. He had no intention of speaking at all. Mian, he spoke first. Then, Hu Jinghai waved his hand, gesturing for the people behind him to leave and close the door. Mr. Hua, don't waste your time on me. I'm not going back to the Hua family. I've already made a statement, and I'm sure you've seen it. I don't want to waste my time talking to you. Besides, I'm quite busy with work. Please leave. In order to avoid an unpleasant conversation, Huamin directly asked him to leave. However, Hu Jinghai had no intention of leaving. Instead, he walked over to the chair across from Huamin and sat down. Mian, I understand your difficulties. Your mother and you haven't had it easy all these years. As a father, I didn't do my job well. You can blame me, I understand. Thank you for your understanding. Take care. Huamin's expression was cold. He didn't even look up at Hu Jinghai. She had nothing to say to this cold-blooded entrepreneur. As a human, what was the point of living if he didn't even have the most basic human nature? Of course, she couldn't say that. After all, he was still her father, even if she didn't want to admit it. Mian, don't be in such a hurry. Let me finish. I heard rumors about you. Su Yu was recuperating here a few days ago. You're his personal nurse, aren't you? After beating around the bush for so long, Hu Jinghai finally got to the point. Chapter 321. Yes, is there a problem? Huamin finally raised his head and stared at Hu Jinghai. No problem, I also heard that Su Yu likes you. So what? What does that have to do with you? Huamin asked back mercilessly. Kid, don't be so agitated, I was just thinking, if you also like Su Yu, I can help you. I can take you back into the Hua family and give you the same status as Yan Yan. That way, the Su family might easily accept you. If we get engaged, you can openly use the Su family's power to expand your Hua empire, consolidate your ambitions, promote your son and daughter, and please your mistress, right? Huamin said what was on Hu Jinghai's mind. Huamin reacted so quickly that Hu Jinghai was stunned. He didn't expect Huamin to see through everything so clearly. How can you think of me as that kind of person? Then what kind of person do you think you are? Huamin crossed his arms and looked at him coldly. I know, you've been biased against me all these years. I don't blame you, really, I just want to help you. After all, with your current status, it's impossible for you to enter the Su family. What a joke, why would I enter the Su family? Don't you like Su Yu? Hu Jinghai continued to ask. Which god told you that I like Su Yu? You seem to have guessed everything yourself, don't you? You should know what kind of person Su Yu is. He's God's favored son, the man that so many women dream of. Hu Jinghai interpreted Su Yu's noble status and tried to make Huamin see the truth. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those women who dream of Suyu. Ming, you can't be so willful. It's your fortune that Suyu likes you, understand? I know what you're thinking. You're hoping that he likes Hua Yanyan, but unfortunately, Hua Yanyan isn't good enough for him, right? Huamin hit the nail on the head. Seeing how hostile Huamin was, Hua Zhenghai decided to take the warm approach. He said with a loving expression, "Actually, you and Yanyan are the same in my heart. I'll be happy no matter who marries into the Su family." Don't you think it's funny to say such untrue words? I found it funny. How could I be the same as Hua Yanyan? She had been a socialite for more than 20 years, and I had been an illegitimate daughter for more than 20 years? Mr. Hua, although I graduated from a third-rate school, don't bully me because I'm not well educated. In the end, Huamin still didn't get a single cent off of Huamin. Hua Zhenghai was completely speechless. Anyways, think about this carefully. If you need an identity, come find me anytime. Even if you announce that you're leaving the Hua family, it doesn't change the fact that I'm your father. Why are you so happy now? Where did you go in the first place? Huamin rolled his eyes at Hua Zhenghai. Hua Zhenghai, after being speechless by Huamin, he had no choice but to leave. He had already made himself clear. If Huamin wanted to find him, he would welcome him at any time. Of course, he didn't really want the Hua family to return to the Hua family and acknowledge his daughter. He just wanted Suyu as his money tree. If he could become in-laws with the Su family, then the Hua corporation would probably last for 100 years. On the way back, Hua Zhenghai sighed slightly. "Chairman, are you in a bad mood?" The driver was an old man who had been with Hua Zhenghai for many years. After Jingde betrayed him and left with Yang Merung, Hua Zhenghai changed his driver. The man was honest and was also his confidant. "I was just thinking, if only Yanyan had half of Huamin's brain." Hua Zhenghai had met countless people, and after interacting with Huamin multiple times, he already realized that Huamin was terrifyingly smart. The seemingly gentle and well-behaved girl had both a high IQ and EQ. Hua Zhenghai couldn't gain any advantage from confronting her. No matter what his goal was, he would still fail miserably in the end. If only Hua Yanyan had half of Huamin's personality, Hua Xiqian's adopted son wouldn't be so arrogant, right? Inside a high-end clubhouse in the city, Suyu was sitting inside, playing cards with Wei Liao and the others. Zhao Qingya suddenly walked in and sat right next to Suyu. Then, tears welled up in her eyes, making her look like a wronged wife. "Oh, what happened to our best actress?" Tang Chuan, who was sitting across from Suyu, teased with a smile. Chapter 322. Nothing, it's just that I haven't seen President Su in a few days and I miss him. Zhao Qingya's voice was very soft. He didn't know if she was faking it or if her voice was really like that. Either way, she always had this voice on TV and gained a lot of male fans because of it. "Looks like Lord Su is going to be lucky tonight." They joked around, but Suyu remained expressionless. After a few rounds, Wei Liao suggested, "Let's go for a drink. It's too early and we don't have anything to do." Suyu looked at his watch and saw that it was only 10:30, so he nodded. "Go find a place." Wei Liao immediately made a call and booked a place. Then they went together. There were a dozen people who weren't very close to Suyu, but they were all in the same circle. Usually, these rich guys were proud to see Suyu in person. They would even secretly post on their WeChat moments to show off their wealth. Money and cars paled in comparison. The popular way to show off in Sea City was to hang out with Suyu at the same police station. It was a symbol of status. Zhao Qingya was wearing a white suit with a Chanel ball and short sleeves. She looked very elegant and beautiful. Many people in the private room asked for photos with her. Clearly, she was very popular. She was indeed the kind of woman who looked better in real life than on TV. She had a good foundation. "President Su, I want to be the female lead of the company's movie, Shooting Star and Butterfly Sword, The Past Life," Zhao Qingya said coquettishly when she saw that Suyu was in a good mood. "Sure." Suyu nodded and didn't say anything else. But Sister Lisa said that the company has already decided on Mian. Zhao Qingya pouted, clearly unhappy. "Oh, then you can choose another one." The company makes a lot of movies every year anyway. Suyu took a sip of wine nonchalantly. I don't want to. I'm a Wuxia fan and I like Shooting Star and Butterfly Sword. President Su, do you not like Xianxia anymore? Are you going to let cotton candy take my place? Suyu tilted his head and glanced at her. Displeased, he said, I don't have anyone by my side to replace me. Whoever I'm interested in is my woman. Have you forgotten the rules? No, I just think that Mian is a scheming bitch who imitated me to get to the top. Maybe she's not sincere and is only trying to get close to you for the sake of fame and benefits. You make it sound like you're not doing this for fame and fortune. Suyu sneered. Realizing that she had said something wrong, Zhao Qingya immediately explained, President Su, I'm different from them. I've been with you the longest. Get someone to send you back. I'm a little tired. Su? Before Zhao Qingya could finish her sentence, Suyu waved his hand and called for one of his subordinates to send the reluctant Zhao Qingya away. What's wrong, Lord Su? The beauty is gone tonight. Where are you going to vent your anger? Suyu glared at Wei Liao. I'll go to you, okay? No, I don't like men. I only like girls with big breasts, slim waists, and sweet voices. Wei Liao laughed. After Zhao Qingya left, Suyu continued to drink slowly. During the banquet, some people brought up Zhou Guangming's private affairs in the past few days. Hey, did you hear? The Zhou family announced that they're going to deal with that woman. I wonder which family she's from. She's so brave that she almost stabbed Zhou Guangming to death. Mrs. Zhou's face turned purple with anger. She said that she'll never forgive that woman. That's for sure. The Zhou family is a nouveau riche. They have so much money that they don't even know how to spend it. Isn't it easy for them to find someone to deal with a woman? Disfigurement and rape are just a matter of minutes. Upon hearing this, Suyu was instantly pissed. He stood up, grabbed his wine glass, and smashed it on the ground. With a loud smack, silence filled the room. Suddenly, there was no sound in the room. No one knew what happened to their ancestor. Why did he suddenly change his attitude? Lord Su, what's going on? Wei Liao and Tang Chuan were both shocked. Chapter 323. Suyu didn't say anything as he walked out with a dark expression on his face. Wei Liao and Tang Chuan didn't dare to delay and followed him out. I'm going back to sleep, you guys don't have to follow me. After saying this, Suyu got into his black Lamborghini and left. Wei Liao and Tang Chuan were left behind, confused. Is it because Zhao Qingya left and he doesn't have a partner in bed? Wei Liao guessed. No, he sent Zhao Qingya away by force. Didn't you see that she didn't want to leave? When she left, her eyes were red and she looked like she had been wronged. Then what's going on? Has Lord Su been abstinent lately? Is he going to be a monk? Has he seen through the world of mortals? No, he just fell for a weirdo. Wei Liao laughed. Tang Chuan was completely confused by her words. After speeding all the way to his private mansion and taking a shower, Suyu picked up his phone. Keep an eye on that side. If they make a move, stop them. Yes, young master. Suyu heard that the Zhou family was going to take revenge, so he was afraid that something would happen to Huamin. He immediately ordered people to keep an eye on the Zhou family. Then he laid on his bed and opened the photo album on his phone. As he looked at the photo he secretly took, his gaze became gentle. I really missed the days of recuperation at Southside. Suyu smiled as he muttered to himself. After Huamin got off work, he drove straight to school to find Zhixin. The siblings ordered some food at a cafeteria on campus and sat down for a while. Sis, ever since you got promoted, you haven't been so busy. You can still get off work so early? Zhixin asked as he happily ate his noodles. Yeah, Southside isn't as busy as the hospital to begin with. There's recuperation here and emergency treatment there. It's not the same thing. That's good, this way you can rest well and have more time to yourself. Huamin took out 3,000 yuan from his bag and placed it on the table. Take it. I'm earning a little more now, so I can give you and Mom more. You're all grown up now, and you even have a girlfriend. There's still a lot of things to spend money on. Ahem. Sis, that's not my girlfriend. He recalled the time when he had bumped into his sister at the movies and saw the girl named Jing Yenru. He immediately explained. Aya, don't be embarrassed. It's okay. You're a university student anyway. Although he didn't approve of Jixin dating at this time, he wouldn't object either. Huamin wasn't that immature. Sis, she really isn't. Although she has feelings for me, I didn't agree. Moreover, she's quite snobbish. She relies on her beauty to flirt with the boys in the school. I don't like that kind of woman. All right, I'm glad you're so rational. Sis, I don't want your money anymore. I've earned a lot from my part-time job. It's enough to last me until next semester. What kind of part-time job are you doing now? Huamin froze. Jing Jixin scratched his head and smiled embarrassedly. Don't yell at me if I tell you. I used the car that Qin Chu gave me and downloaded an app. When I'm free, I'll be a taxi driver. Business is pretty good. Also, I've partnered with the wedding company. Whenever there's a wedding booking, I'll drive even if I don't have classes. I charge 800 yuan per trip, and the wedding company and I each get 400 yuan. You little brat, you're quite business-minded. Sis, you're not mad? Jing Jixin was a bit worried. Why would I be mad? You don't earn money with your own hands. Mom and I don't have high expectations for you. You just have to earn your own living when you enter society. Of course, I'm not that kind of wastrel. Sis, don't worry. Alright, how are you and Qin Chu? Are you okay? Yeah, we've known each other for so many years and we get along pretty well. That's good. To be honest, sis, the first time I saw Qin Chu was when he drove you home. I secretly watched from the top of the wall. At that time, I knew that he would definitely become my brother-in-law. Chapter 324. Go away, how old were you back then? Huamin laughed. I was already a teenager back then, I knew everything. Jing Jixin was a very sensible little brother. Compared to those spoiled boys and spoiled prodigals who relied on their parents, he was very sensible. He worked part-time to support the family and was always able to say some heartwarming words to his sister. Huamin felt that any decision he made back then to save his little brother was worth it. After parting ways with Jixin, Huamin sent a WeChat message to Qin Chu. Are you off work yet? Still working. Huamin always replied to his WeChat messages within seconds. Huamin drove all the way to GK. Since he had made too many mistakes recently, he wanted to take the initiative to please Mr. Qin. When Assistant Yang saw Huamin, he immediately recognized her and said, Miss Hua, please come in. Huamin nodded and walked in. The president is still in the conference room, I'll go call him out. Assistant Yang already knew how important this woman was to the president, so he decided to go find her in the conference room himself. Wait, don't go, I'll wait for him here. Okay, what would you like to drink? Coffee, thank you. Qin Chu was in a meeting for almost an hour. When he returned to the president's office, he was completely exhausted. He sat in front of his desk and quietly looked at the data on his laptop. Suddenly, a pair of gentle hands covered his eyes. Then, she mischievously sang, I secretly covered your eyes and let you guess who I am. Qin Chu didn't say anything. Instead, he suddenly came back to his senses and hugged Huamin. Qin Chu was sitting down, while Huamin was standing. Therefore, when he hugged Huamin, his head happened to be pressed against Huamin's chest. Their position was quite intimate. You didn't even see who I was and you just hugged me. How casual are you? Other than you, no woman other than an employee enters my office. All right. You're too smart. I wanted to give you a surprise. How boring. Huamin said as he tried to break free. However, she heard Qin Chu reply in a coquettish tone, Don't move, let me hug you for a while. Huamin instantly blushed. Did Mr. Qin like to hug her so much because he could take advantage of her openly? Sir, the vice president asked me to bring you this to sign. Assistant Yang came in with a document. Then he saw such an erotic scene. Before Qin Chu could speak, Xiao Yang immediately said, I'm sorry, I went to the wrong house. Then he immediately retreated. He was afraid that the boss would scold him. It seemed that little Yang had grown a lot after following Qin Chu for so long. Even his brain had become much sharper. Your assistant is quite funny, huh? Seeing Yang's awkward expression, Huamin couldn't help but laugh. He's already restrained himself. He was even funnier when he first came. The young couple hugged each other in the president's office. Chapter 325. They don't seem to want to go back, they really want to kiss me. They also want me to bathe them tonight, Qin Chu said in all seriousness. Mr. Qin, you're so elegant even when you're acting like a pervert. Are you sure it's okay? Huamin was speechless. I'm not acting like a pervert when I'm with my wife, that's called having fun. Hurry up and tie it for me, or else don't even think about getting in bed with me tonight. Huamin had no choice but to threaten him. Qin Chu got up reluctantly and slowly pulled up the strap of her bra. Before he tied it, he even pinched it, making Huamin both embarrassed and angry. Qin Chu, are you doing it? Why do you have such a dirty side? Huamin wanted to vomit blood. Everyone has many sides to them. If one always stays the same, then he's a fool. Okay, Huamin actually thought that he made sense. So, did he come to GK just to be taken advantage of? Are you off work yet? I'm so hungry. What do you want to eat? Anything is fine, just don't take advantage of me. I hate people who take advantage of me too. Huamin pouted. Qin Chu smiled as he held her hand. You should be glad that there are still people who are willing to take advantage of you. If no one shows any interest in you, you can cry. Huamin. Many employees saw Qin Chu and Huamin take the private elevator downstairs, holding hands. They didn't see Huamin's face clearly because Huamin subconsciously lowered his head and walked quickly. However, they all knew that the big boss of GK had a woman. Oh, it looks like the rumors are fake, a female employee exclaimed. What rumors? Another asked. People have been saying that our president is gay, but it looks like he's not. He likes women too. But I think that woman looks very ordinary. How could she enter the boss's eyes? Maybe there's something special about her that attracts the president. She's so lucky, I'd be happy to be the president's woman for 10 years less. As the female employees chattered, it was time for Jiang Linyue to get off work. Seeing Qin Chu and Huamin's backs, she felt bad. Director Jiang. Upon seeing Jiang Linyue, the girls immediately shut up and didn't dare to say anything else. Jiang Linyue didn't respond and walked out with a grim expression on her face. President Qin is showing off his love in the company without a care in the world. Is he preparing to make his relationship public? Why was Huamin so lucky? Was it just because she knew him in high school? After leaving GK, Qin Chu got into Huamian's car and asked the company's driver to drop him off at the entrance of Imperial Park. The two of them found a Western restaurant. Huamin was okay with Western food. He didn't like it, but he didn't hate it either. However, she knew that Qin Chu loved it, because Qin Chu spent 7 years abroad and ate Western food a lot. Sir, how would you like your sirloin steak? 7. Chapter 326. Ahem. Mr. Qin's foresight is amazing. Huamin couldn't help but admire Qin Chu's intelligence. He always saw through her little tricks. What is it? Tell me. It's nothing. My mom has been nagging me to move back, but it's impossible. After all, we're married. I just want to go back and spend a few days with her and Jixin. Okay. Qin Chu nodded. You agree? Huamin didn't expect Qin Chu to be so easy to talk to. Yeah, go back and stay for a few days. Buy more things for your mom and brother. If you don't have enough money, I'll ask the finance department to give you more. No, it's enough. I already have a lot of money. Huamin spent most of her time using her own salary card. Ever since she was promoted, her salary had increased a lot. Her food and clothes were all taken care of by Qin Chu, so she didn't have much to spend on. As for the 50 million yuan Qin Chu gave her and the 1 million yuan monthly salary, she didn't use a single cent. Although Qin Chu didn't want his wife to go back to her parents' home, he could understand Huamin's feelings. Therefore, even if he didn't want her to go, he didn't say it out loud. He just wanted to make Huamin happy. The two of them enjoyed the hot pot. When they got home, Qin Chu got a call from the company and immediately became busy. Huamin, on the other hand, took a shower and went to bed. She laid down, read a book, and listened to some music. It was quite relaxing. The next day, after work, Huamin bought a lot of fresh vegetables and fruits and went back to the old house. Jixin still had class at night and wasn't home yet. Yang Merong stewed a chicken and stir-fried a few vegetables. The mother and daughter had a sumptuous dinner. Just then, the front door was pushed open and two people walked in. The one in front was Auntie Wu from next door. Huamin didn't see the person behind her clearly. "Oh, you just started eating. Okay." Yang Merong got up and got a stool for Auntie Wu to sit on. "Huamin, you're back?" Auntie Wu smiled and greeted Huamin warmly. "Auntie Wu," Huamin greeted. "What a coincidence. Our Xiao Liang is on leave these 2 days, and he always says that it's boring. Now that Huamin is back, you two have something to talk about." "Xiao Liang is back?" Yang Merong glanced at the man behind Auntie Wu. Huamin also looked over and felt a little surprised. After not seeing Su Liang for so many years, he had changed a lot. Because they were neighbors, they had known each other since they were young. Su Liang was a boy who didn't like to talk much. Because he was much older than Huamin, they didn't have much interaction. Later, it was said that Su Liang went overseas after he went to university. He only came back after graduation and was said to be working in a bank. Now that he was 30 years old, he still did not have a girlfriend. This made Auntie Wu very worried. "Hello, Auntie Yang," Su Liang greeted Yang Merong with a smile. Su Liang was 1.78 meters tall and had a square face. He wasn't exactly handsome, but his facial features were well defined. He wore a black suit and looked like a typical bank employee, fair and chubby. Plus, Auntie Wu was born with good looks, so Su Liang naturally had a sense of superiority. "Have you two eaten? Why don't you have some more? I stewed chicken that Mian bought today. I heard it's a stupid chicken that was fed with corn. It tastes good to me," Yang Merong said warmly. "It's okay, we're both done." "Oh right, there's a white car parked outside. Is it yours?" Auntie Wu looked at the white Volkswagen CC outside, a little surprised. Before Huamin could say anything, Yang Merong answered, "That's Mian's car." Chapter 327. "Oh my, that's amazing, Mian even bought a car," Auntie Wu praised with a smile. Huamin didn't want to be too high profile, so she only nodded in response. "I bought it with a down payment. It's too far from work, so it's more convenient to get around." To her surprise, Su Liang interrupted, "This isn't an ordinary car, especially since yours is imported. The engine is even more high-end than the ones in China. The total cost is close to 300,000 yuan. That expensive? Mian, you're amazing now." Although Auntie Wu didn't know much about cars, she knew that her son's Audi A4 was only around 300,000 yuan. So, when she heard that Huamin's car cost 300,000 yuan, she was shocked. "I don't know much about cars, a friend recommended it to me, so I bought it." Huamian didn't want to show off her car. After all, that wasn't her style. Her mother, on the other hand, was very enthusiastic and interrupted. "Mian has been promoted to head nurse, so she makes around 10,000 yuan a month." "That's great, I heard that everyone at Southside is rich." "Mian, didn't you have a rich boyfriend?" Huamin didn't know how to answer Auntie Wu's gossipy question. She didn't like to lie, but she couldn't say anything in front of her mother. At the very least, she couldn't let her mother know about her and Qin Chu. So, she shook her head. "No, most of the people at Southside are patients. We're medical staff, so we don't interact much outside of work." "That's true, Mian has always been an honest girl, unlike the girls out there who wear heavy makeup and short skirts and shorts. It's good that way." As they chatted, Huamin was full. Just as he was about to get up and go into the room to tidy up his bed, Auntie Wu said, "Liang, go take a walk with Mian in the courtyard. Didn't you say that you have a lot of questions about the hospital?" "Yeah, Mian, go take a walk with Liang and have a good chat." After receiving Auntie Wu's hint, Huamin's mother was very enthusiastic. It was obvious that he was trying to match the two of them together. Huamin was speechless. Su Liang, on the other hand, was quite proactive. He said to Huamin, "Let's go." Huamin had no choice but to get up and follow Su Liang out. Auntie Wu mysteriously asked Yang Meng, "Sister, what do you think of my son?" "Little Yang, you're a good kid. It's just that our family isn't well off. We can't match up to your family." "What are you talking about? We've known each other for so many years, how could I dislike you?" First, I didn't think too much about it. I just thought that Mian had a boyfriend, but didn't Jixin say that they broke up last time? A few days ago, I called Liang and asked him what he thought. Sure enough, he was very satisfied after seeing Mian's photos. So, he asked for a leave of absence and came back home. I was going to ask you to call Mian back and let the two kids meet, but I didn't expect her to come back today. Look, it's all fate. Auntie Wu was a quick talker. She loved to act as a matchmaker, and her words were even more eloquent than a song. As long as the kids agree, I have no objections. I watched Liang grow up, he's a good person. That's good, then let's wait for the good news. Auntie Wu was elated. She also thought that her son would definitely catch Huamin's eye. On the way, Huamin didn't say much. After all, he hadn't seen Su Liang for many years, and all of his memories were from when he was young. "I heard from my mom that you work at Southside Recuperation Center?" "Yeah." Huamin nodded. "Are you tired from work? How's the environment?" Su Liang's questions were all methodical, and it was obvious that he was a proper child. Chapter 328. It's okay, it's not that tiring. Southside is more high-end, so the environment and facilities are pretty good. That's great. I heard from my mom that you're a hard-working person. Even though you didn't do well in university, you've been working hard ever since you graduated and have been promoted. I like people like you. I think you're full of positive energy. Thank you for the compliment. You should know about my job. I'm now the deputy director of the bank's credit department. My salary has increased a few times, but that's not my final goal. My goal is to become the director of the credit department in 5 years. It might not be easy, but I'll work hard. That's great. It's good to have a dream. Good luck. Even though Huamin had always felt that Su Liang was just a passerby, he really appreciated his positive attitude towards life. Su Liang smiled. Swimming against the current is a whale shark. Swimming with the current is a dead fish. That's an interesting theory. By the way, I heard that you and your boyfriend broke up. Yeah, we broke up. Auntie Wu saw him too. Do you plan to start a new relationship soon? Or do you plan to get married? Su Liang probed. Not yet. Huamin seemed to understand what he wanted to say, so he immediately interrupted him. Really? That's a pity. My mom said that we're perfect for each other. After all, she watched us grow up. Our characters are guaranteed. Plus, we both have stable jobs. If we get married, our quality of life will be very high. Thank you for your love, but it's hard to say when it comes to relationships. Sometimes, people who aren't suitable for each other end up together. If they're suitable for each other, there might not be any follow-up. There's a small bar up ahead. Let's go there. Su Liang seemed unsatisfied. Sorry, I have something to do tonight. I'll go back first. Okay then, what's your WeChat? I'll add you. Su Liang took out his phone and asked. I don't use WeChat, and I don't have time. What about your phone number? Su Liang didn't give up. Su Liang, I'm sorry. I don't think we need to exchange contact information. I don't think it's possible between us. Huamin's direct rejection surprised Su Liang. In the past, every time he went on a blind date, it was those little girls who took the initiative. After all, he had a good job and a good family background. He had originally thought that he would definitely win over Huamin, but he did not expect that Huamin would be so straightforward. Why do you have to be so certain? What if it's possible in the future? Su Liang was a little unwilling. Huamin actually wanted to tell Su Liang that he was already married. That's impossible. I'm sorry, my words may have been a little hurtful. I know that Auntie Wu meant well and you are a good person, but I also have my own thoughts. Please forgive me. However, if Su Liang told Auntie Wu about it, Auntie Wu would definitely tell her mother about it. Therefore, she decided not to do it. All right then, I won't force you if that's the case. Su Liang smiled bitterly. Then let's go back. Since he had already made things clear, Huamin did not want to delay any further. After walking with Su Liang for a short while, Huamin returned home while Auntie Wu left with Su Liang. Huamin sat down on a small stool beside his mother and helped his mother rinse the dirty clothes. Yang Meirong casually asked as she washed the clothes in her hands, "How was your conversation with Su Liang?" Chapter 329. Mom, he's not my type. How old are you? Do you still like him? How can there be so many things to like in life? Over time, it's all about family. Haven't you heard of the saying? After marriage, the relationship between husband and wife is like the left hand and the right hand, both worn away by daily necessities. Even so, I still hope that I don't get married because we're compatible, but because of love. Hearing her daughter say this, Yang Meirong wasn't too happy, but she didn't force it. At night, lying in bed, Huamin sighed and posted on his WeChat friend circle. If one day, you get married, I hope it's not because we're compatible, but because of love. It was such a romantic thing, but her Jixin had ruined it. He replied below, "Sis, I think men are like the food in the cafeteria. Even though it tastes bad, it's still gone if you're late." Zhu Lingling also had Jing Jixin's WeChat, so she could see the conversation between the siblings. She immediately commented on Jixin's post, "Why do I feel like you're saying this to me?" "Of course not, sisterling, I wouldn't dare say that to you." Huamin smiled and replied, "You two seem to be having a lot of fun under my comments. Have you paid protection fees yet? Are you that arrogant?" Before she could read the reply, her phone suddenly showed that she had a video call. On the screen was a picture of my dearest husband, accompanied by a picture of Qin Chu. He was so handsome that he looked like he was about to bleed. However, she didn't remember leaving a comment on Qin Chu. What was going on? She anxiously accepted the video call and lowered the volume. Luckily, Huamin's room was quite far from her mother's. Otherwise, what would she do if her mother suddenly came in? "Hello, Mr. Qin," Huamin mischievously greeted. "Have you eaten dinner yet?" Qin Chu's voice was as gentle as ever. He looked like he was still at the company. He was only wearing a dark gray casual shirt, and the diamonds on his cuffs were especially eye-catching. If someone else wore this kind of equipment, they would look like a nouveau riche. However, Qin Chu exuded the aura of a noble. It had to be said that clothes weren't important, but face was. "Yes, my mom made chicken stew. It's super delicious. I ate 1.5 bowls of rice." "Not bad." Qin Chu smiled. "Are you still at work?" "Yes, I still have a meeting to attend." "Why have you become a workaholic when I'm not at home? Don't you know to go home and rest early?" "Even if I go home, I'll be alone in an empty room," Qin Chu answered straightforwardly. Well, Qin Chu's tone was completely like a little wife who had been bullied. Full of grief. "Hold on, I'll be back soon. I miss you very much." Qin Chu stared at Huamin on the phone. She was wearing a light purple nightgown with a Mickey Mouse printed on it. She looked adorable. Hearing Qin Chu's sudden words, Huamin felt his cheeks begin to heat up slightly. "Don't you have anything to say to me?" Qin Chu was clearly displeased. He was speechless as he looked at his silly wife, who didn't respond after hearing him say that he missed her. "I miss you very much too." "Only very much?" Mr. Qin objected again. "I miss you very, very much. I miss you to death. Are you satisfied with my answer? That's more like it. Move the camera away, don't get too close to your face." "What? Are you sick of looking at my face for too long?" Huamin chuckled. "Move the camera away." Hearing Qin Chu's command, Huamin had no choice but to move the phone away from his face. He wanted to take the whole picture. "Lower your collar," Qin Chu said in all seriousness. Huamin. Chapter 330. No wonder he told her to stay away. So that was what he was thinking? Even if he couldn't touch her, he still wanted to look at her? Mr. Qin's taste was quite strange. Okay, since he said that he missed her, she decided to go all out. She held the camera in one hand. With the other hand, she pulled her collar lower, revealing her fair collarbones. Lower. Qin Chu didn't seem satisfied. Huo Mian didn't say anything. She pulled down her collar again, and it lowered further. She was about to be exposed. This seemed to be her limit. Lower it. Qin Chu, you bastard. Huo Mian finally couldn't take it anymore and exploded. Any lower and she would really expose herself, okay? She was a leak maniac, so she wouldn't do something so boring. Seeing that Huo Mian was angry, Qin Chu couldn't help but smile slightly. He knew that his Mian would have this kind of reaction. It was too fun. You're going to break me, do you know that? Huo Mian protested. Why would I? I haven't even started playing yet. Qin Chu smiled mischievously. Goodbye, our friendship is over. Then, without waiting for Qin Chu to speak, Huo Mian immediately hung up. Huo Mian thought that Qin Chu would call immediately. Wasn't that how you coaxed your wife? However, he was greatly disappointed. Qin Chu didn't call for a long time. Maybe he was already busy. Huo Mian comforted herself to hide the slight disappointment in her heart. It was already 10 p.m., but she didn't feel sleepy at all. Maybe it was because she used to work night shifts, so Huo Mian got out of bed and took out her childhood photo album. Back then, cell phones weren't popular yet, and old photo albums were still popular. One by one, graduation photos spread out in front of her eyes. She missed it very much. Sometimes, she felt that the 10 years from the age of 14 to 24 was as long as an eternity. Too many things had happened, from the time she met Qin Chu to the time they parted. In the end, after going around in circles, they ended up together again. He could only sigh at the miraculous nature of fate. It was already 11:30 when he finally put the album away. Huo Mian actually felt a little hungry. She had planned to cook a bowl of instant noodles, but she realized that there wasn't a single bag of instant noodles in the house. Huo Mian's mother had recently become obsessed with maintaining her health, so she had stopped buying fast food. Huo Mian was surprisingly hungry. She was scrolling through her WeChat moments out of boredom. Then she saw that Gao Ran was actually eating kebabs. 9 pictures, all of which were barbecued. How annoying, Zhu Lingling commented. It's already so late and you're still eating and drinking. You're going to die of obesity. Gao Ran immediately replied, this young master has a special physique. No matter how much I eat, I won't get fat. Thank you. Hey, can you two stop arguing? I'm so hungry. Is it really okay to post pictures like this in the middle of the night? Seeing Huo Mian's reply, Gao Ran was immediately amused. Are you going to ask your wife Khan to cook supper for you? I'm at my mother's house. Thank you. Looks like someone's going to be alone tonight. Gao Ran had a gloating look on his face. In the end, Huo Mian looked at Gao Ran's pictures. The more she looked at them, the hungrier she got. She stole a picture of barbecued chicken wings and posted it on her WeChat moments. If someone can pack a chicken wing for me right now, I'll thank all of their ancestors. Actually, she was really just venting her anger. 15 minutes later, Huo Mian's phone rang. Come out. It was Qin Chu's domineering voice. But Huo Mian thought she heard wrong. I'll give you 20 seconds. After speaking, Qin Chu hung up the phone. Huo Mian immediately crawled out of bed and walked out. In order not to disturb her mother, she deliberately wore flat slippers. At the entrance of the courtyard was indeed Qin Chu's Maybach. Why are you here? Huo Mian was pleasantly surprised to see Qin Chu. Qin Chu didn't say anything. He handed over the lunchbox in his hand. Here. Chapter 331. What is it? Huo Mian asked curiously as she opened the box. Inside were 4 big golden chicken wings. Oh my god, did you see my WeChat moments? Yeah. Then it's too late. I remember I posted it less than 15 minutes ago, and the wings took 20 minutes to roast. Including the distance, it's not even enough time. Do you have the ability to predict the future? Huo Mian was completely shocked. Qin Chu said faintly, when I was driving here, I passed by Gao Ran's restaurant, so I took the chicken wings he was going to eat. Huo Mian, honey, you're so awesome. Huamin would never have guessed that the chicken wings were stolen from Gao Ran's mouth. No wonder he was so fast. Get in the car and eat, it's cold outside, Qin reminded her. Huamin nodded and immediately got into the passenger seat. Then she began to eat without a care in the world. As she ate, she even licked her oily fingers. Qin had a helpless expression on his face as he carefully wiped her hands with a napkin. Here, have a bite, it's delicious. Huamin handed over the chicken wings. Qin lowered her head and carefully took a bite. Is it good? Yeah. Qin elegantly wiped the corners of her mouth and nodded. That's awesome, honey, you're the best. Huamin was in an extremely good mood after getting what she wanted in the middle of the night. Seeing how happy Huamin was, Qin was naturally happy as well. He always knew that his girl didn't want much, and that a small touch like this was enough to satisfy her. Eat slowly, drink some water first. Qin handed her a bottle of Evian. Huamin took 2 big gulps, and then devoured the 4 chicken wings like a hurricane. After eating and drinking to her heart's content, Huamin leaned her head on Qin shoulder, looking very satisfied. Mr. Qin, thank you. For what? Thank you for taking care of me in every possible way after we started living together. You took care of me like a child. I almost lost the ability to take care of myself. We're husband and wife. This is what I should do. I really don't dare to imagine how disappointed I would be if we were to separate one day and I didn't have you by my side. That day won't come. No, you're wrong. When we were born, we were the same person. It's impossible for us to leave at the same time. If that day really comes, I hope you can leave before me, because I can take care of you until you leave. If I leave first, I won't be at ease leaving you alone in this world. Huamin asked jokingly, what you're saying is that if you're going to die one day, you're going to kill me first because you're afraid that I won't be able to take care of myself. Is that right? That's a good idea. That's not it. I want to live longer than you. Then, when you die, I can find a retired old man to accompany me. Then you won't be able to find an old man as good-looking as me. After all, there aren't many like him in the world. Here we go again. Huamin knew that Mr. Qin's tsundere side was acting up again. Why are you here so late at night? I just finished a meeting. I saw you post on WeChat, so I drove over. If I didn't post on WeChat, you wouldn't have come, right? No, I would have come whether you posted on WeChat or not. Don't walk back and forth in the future. You have work tomorrow. Huamin actually felt bad for Qin. GK had a lot of work to do, and Qin had to personally handle many projects. She knew how precious his time was. However, no matter how busy he was, he would still try his best to spend time with her. She wasn't stupid, and she saw everything clearly. In the beginning, she hated the Qin family and Qin because of Uncle Jing's death. However, after living with Qin for the past few months, Qin treated her so well that the hatred in her heart gradually faded away. She even wondered if she should draw a clear line between the two of them. After all, Uncle Jing's death was Qin parents' fault, not his. Although she said that the knot in her heart was still there. However, neither of them mentioned it. Mian, Qin turned his head and whispered into her ear. Yeah. I want to find a chance to confess to your mother and ask for her forgiveness. I don't want to hide our marriage for the rest of our lives. It's not fair to either of us. Chapter 332. After Huamin heard this, her expression changed slightly. I know what you're afraid of. You're afraid that your mom will react violently. Yes, my mom definitely won't be able to handle it. But, have you thought about the fact that we can't keep this a secret forever? We're husband and wife. This is already a fact. I know. Huamin lowered her head and her voice weakened. What my parents did back then was unforgivable. I'm trying my best to make it up to them. I can treat your family well for the rest of my life. I'll treat your mother like my own mother and your little brother like my own. I think that if she knew how I feel about you, she would understand. But my mom's blood pressure is high and her health isn't good. I'm afraid that if she gets too emotional, she'll fall sick. That would be troublesome. Uncle Jing is no longer here. I don't want anything to happen to her. What if we talk about it in a more subtle way? Qin Chu asked tentatively. No matter how bad it is, it won't be easy. My mom is too hostile towards you, let alone your parents. Huamin was being honest. It seems like we have to plan this a little more. Qin Chu sighed slightly. Huamin leaned into Qin Chu's arms and comforted, don't worry too much. I'll find time to slowly infiltrate her and change her mind. I know. Qin Chu lovingly patted Huamin's head. After accompanying Qin Chu for a little while in the car, Huamin entered the courtyard and Qin Chu drove away. Lying in bed, she still couldn't fall asleep. It wasn't that she hadn't thought about the problem that Qin Chu mentioned. However, based on her mother's current attitude, it seemed impossible for her to accept Qin Chu. On the other hand, she couldn't accept Qin Chu's parents either. However, this was a difficult problem to solve. After all, they were Qin Chu's biological parents. She couldn't possibly avoid them for the rest of her life just because they were married. She couldn't possibly avoid them and become complete strangers. Wasn't this unrealistic? It seemed that she had to think of a way to solve her mother's problem first. As long as her mother accepted it, everything would be easy. The next morning Yang Merong prepared breakfast with soy milk and youtiao. Huamin ate with a heavy heart. Drive slowly when you get to work later. There's always maintenance on this side of the road. It's full of potholes. It's very difficult to drive. I know, Mom. You don't have to give Zhixin too much money. Just give him enough to spend. You can't spoil him. Yang Merong rambled on, but Huamin's mind wasn't here. She looked at her mother tentatively and asked, Mom, do you still hate the Qin family? Of course. I hate them to the core. I wish I could skin them alive. Yang Merong was visibly agitated at the mention of the Qin couple. What I mean is, you're old now, and your health isn't good. I don't want you to live in resentment. Uncle Jing is no longer here, so you don't have to feel so pressured. Huamin put it very tactfully. She wanted to see her mother's attitude. Yang Merong immediately turned around to look at Huamin and scolded, I'll never forget how they used their power and money to kill your Uncle Jing. They even hired a stupid driver to be their scapegoat. What's the point of that? Who doesn't know that they sent the driver? How could they compensate him with so much money? Could any amount of money be exchanged for a life? I'll give them 1,000,000 yuan and kill that old bastard Qin Yuman with a car. Ask them if they're willing to do that. Yang Merong's voice was fierce, and Huamin knew that she guessed right. Mom, if only I was the one who killed him. Huamin was filled with guilt. That's not what I meant. Whether it's you or your Uncle Jing, you're both important to me. I, Yang Merong, will never forgive the Qin family. Unless I die, I won't forgive them. In the end, Yang Merong looked at Huamin and asked coldly, Don't tell me you still have some hope for that kid from the Qin family? Chapter 333. Upon hearing her mother's words, Huamin quickly shook her head. I didn't. It's best if you didn't. Remember, any man in the world can marry you, but that kid from the Qin family can't. Between the two of you, it's not just a life, it's also 7 years of grudges. Huamin knew that her mother hated everything about the Qin family. Back then, the Qin family humiliated her mother. The neighbors mocked her for an entire year. Rumors were scary at times. Everyone said that Yang Merong was indecent when she was young and that her daughter was a vixen. She was a bitch who seduced rich kids at a young age and even planned to elope with them. Back then, the failed elopement became a curse in the hearts of both families. Back then, Qin Chu wanted to take Huamin with him to America. Their passports were already prepared and they were just waiting for their visas to be approved. Later on, for some reason, Qin Chu's father found out and Uncle Jing's tragedy happened. In the end, Huamin and Qin Chu cut off all ties and Qin Chu went to America alone. Huamin, on the other hand, faced all the rumors. With her grades, she could have gone to the best medical school in Jing City. She could have applied for scholarships at medical schools abroad, but Uncle Jing's death put all her plans on hold. She took on the responsibility of taking care of a family. It wasn't easy for her mother, but it was even harder for her. No one lived as carefully as she did. If Qin Chu didn't come back, she would have been an ordinary woman for the rest of her life. Mom, I know, don't worry, Huamin said vaguely and tried her best to cover it up. After dinner, Huamin drove out of the old house. She felt uneasy the whole way and almost ran a red light at several junctions. Huamin stepped on the brakes at a fork in the road near the overpass. She looked up at the red light and frowned slightly. The red light was counting down to 300 seconds. Was there a mistake? 300 seconds of red light? This was the first time in her life that she saw it. The longest red light she saw before was 90 seconds, and that was in the city center. Why would there be such a crazy red light on an overpass with no traffic? Huamin was flabbergasted. Then she took out her phone and took a screenshot. Not far away, a black Lexus was parked on the side of the road. Because of the black glass, people from the outside couldn't see what was happening outside. Su Yu sat in the luxurious back seat with a can of Coke in his hand. He stared at the woman in the white car without moving. He missed her, but he didn't have the guts. It was not because he was a coward, but because he was afraid that she would reject him again. Was it because he likes? He had been injured for a few days, and even though he drank with Wei Liao and the others every day, he still missed Huamian. Ever since he met Huamin, he had been completely abstinent. Even he was surprised. No matter how beautiful the women were, he couldn't get any interest. Even if someone as beautiful as Xiao Qingya stood naked in front of him, he still didn't have any desire. So, he thought he was sick with a strange disease called Huamin. After struggling for a long time, Su Yu decided that Huamin had to pass by this intersection every day. He ordered the traffic police to set the longest red light there. As expected, it blocked Huamin's way. Huamin looked down at his phone and played with it. He didn't know that someone was looking at him. 300 seconds passed in a blink of an eye. The cars behind them kept honking their horns to remind them. Huamin immediately put the car in gear and drove away. Su Yu muttered to himself, 300 seconds is too short. Next time, I should ask them to make it 900 seconds. GK headquarters. As soon as Qin Chu finished his morning meeting and returned to his office, he received a call from Gao Ran. What is it? He had a feeling that nothing good would happen if someone called him while he was at work. Calm down and let me finish, okay? Go ahead. The police just issued an arrest warrant. I'm personally leading the team. The person we're arresting is Huamin. Qin Chu's face immediately turned cold. Arrest warrant? What the hell was that? Chapter 334. Arrest warrant? Qin Chu repeated in a low voice, making sure that he didn't hear wrong. Yes. Arrest my Mion? Qin Chu confirmed again. Yes, your wife Huamin. Gao Ran was also speechless. To be honest, when he saw the arrest warrant, he was so shocked that he almost peed his pants. Normally, people who received arrest warrants from the higher-ups were mostly wanted criminals who had committed heinous crimes. Especially since he was in the 1st Criminal Police Unit of the Municipal Public Security Bureau, which was equivalent to the Major Crimes Division. So, did my wife commit murder or arson? Qin Chu was very unhappy. He really couldn't imagine what would make the Criminal Police Unit of the Municipal Public Security Bureau arrest someone with an arrest warrant, although they hadn't done so yet. I heard that she offended the Zhou family a few days ago. Don't tell me you don't know about this. That coal mining nouveau riche? Qin Chu's face was full of disdain. He didn't even have the time to deal with them, but they took the initiative to come to him. They really didn't want to live anymore. Yes, it's him. His family is filthy rich, so I don't know what kind of connections he has with the higher-ups. They said that he submitted evidence of his crime. Your wife Huamin used a murder weapon to injure young Master Zhou. She's still in the hospital, so the higher-ups want to arrest your wife. Bring her back and lock her up until her trial in a few days. She's really asking for it? Qin Chu's face was gloomy. So, what should we do now? Gao Ran asked carefully. I'll see who dares to touch her. Qin Chu's words were full of threats. Big brother, of course I know you can't really arrest her, but how should I deal with this? I think you should call my dad directly. Otherwise, if I plead for a woman, my dad will think that it's my personal business. That's all. After speaking, Qin Chu hung up before Gao Ran could say anything. 5 minutes later, Gao Ran received a call from the bureau chief. Xiao Gao, don't arrest him yet. Your dad just called me and said that this person has a special identity. Huh, don't arrest the wrong person. Oh, I see. Well, Director, I'll wait for your news. Gao Ran pretended not to know about it. Sure enough, Qin Chu's phone call was more useful than his because his father had liked Qin Chu since he was young. After talking to Gao Ran's father on the phone, Qin Chu sat in his office and pondered for a long time. Although Huamian was fine now and didn't need to be taken away, he couldn't delay any longer and had to think of a plan. The Zhou family seemed to have already made their move, Assistant Yang. Boss, what is it? Cancel all business trips for the next week and reduce the itinerary. Sir, GK's resort project in a neighboring city is launching in 3 days, and we need you to attend. I have more important things to do. Upon hearing Qin Chu's words, Assistant Yang immediately understood and didn't say anything else. Understood, sir. Then he turned around and left. 5:20 p.m., Southside Recuperation Center. Hello, may I ask which one of you is Miss Huamin? I am. Huamin turned her head at the on-call desk and saw a man who looked like a delivery man. This is your package, please sign here. The man took out a document and handed it to Huamin. After signing it, Huamin thanked him and took the package back to her office. Looking at the thin document, her eyelids twitched inexplicably. She had an indescribable premonition that made her feel very depressed. As expected, when she saw the document clearly, her expression changed. There were 2 big words written on it, subpoena. This was a court subpoena. So, was she being sued? Chapter 335. When she saw the name of the plaintiff, Zhou Guangming, she instantly understood everything. The Zhou family had indeed made a move. They had sued Huamin for aggravated assault. A week later, the trial would be held at the provincial high court. Look, even the court was so high and mighty. The provincial high court obviously took this matter very seriously. Aggravated assault? I'm going to laugh at him. I didn't even sue him for drugging Ling Ling and attempted rape. Huamin's lips twitched. She wasn't afraid. She just thought that the Zhou family was quite interesting. If they were so rich and powerful, why didn't they just hire someone to deal with her? Of course, the Zhou family had thought about it. But what she didn't know was that the Zhou family didn't even know where to start. Because behind Huamin, other than Qin Chu's power, Su Yu and Huasiqian's people were also protecting her. That protective wall was almost as strong as the Great Wall of China. The Zhou family also pulled some strings and got an arrest warrant. But unfortunately, it fell into the hands of Gao Ran. Then, Mr. Qin solved it with one phone call. When the Zhou family found out, they went crazy. So, they went to the court and issued a summons. It was obvious that they were going to go to court. Look at what they'd done to her. Huamin picked up the summons and muttered to herself, fine, the provincial high court and the Zhou family. I'll just deal with whatever comes my way. After work, Huamin packed her things and was about to leave. She saw a middle-aged rich woman in her 40s or 50s walk in with a fierce look on her face. You're Huamin? I am. I'm Zhou Guangming's mother. The rich woman had a fierce look on her face. Her body was fat, but she was dressed in luxury brands. What's the matter? Huamin didn't care. She didn't panic just because it was Mrs. Zhou. In fact, she didn't have anything to panic about. It wasn't like she did anything wrong. In her opinion, Zhou Guangming deserved it. He was a little skinny, so the injuries were light. She was already very merciful, okay? You're the one who hurt my son? Mrs. Zhou asked angrily. The premise is that you should ask him what he has done. Huamin's voice was indifferent. No matter what fifth son did, you have no right to do that. Who do you think you are? You're just a lowly commoner. How dare you hurt someone from my Zhou clan? He's really courting death. That's not right. I haven't lived long enough. How is that courting death? Besides, the word, courting death, is more appropriate for your son. If he didn't court death, he wouldn't have died. There are so many people, but why is he fine? Is there a problem with his character? During the confrontation with Mrs. Zhou, Huamin did not feel any pressure at all. Instead, she was sharp-tongued and sarcastic. Mrs. Zhou was so angry that her face turned pale. "You have a sharp tongue. Do you see the subpoena?" "I saw it." Huamin picked up the summons and waved it, seemingly unconcerned. "In a week, I will send you straight to jail. Don't even think about getting out for 10 years. Whether you pay us money or kneel down to apologize, we won't accept it. Just you wait." "Mrs. Zhou, you're overthinking things. Why would I apologize to you for no reason? I didn't do anything wrong. Don't even think about paying us money. I've always valued money more than my life. You can still jump around for 7 more days. When the time comes, I want to see with my own eyes how you're going to jail." After speaking, Mrs. Zhou turned around and left. 2 people who looked like bodyguards followed behind her. Huamin chuckled. So, this middle-aged woman came to her just to tell her that she was going to jail in 7 days? She was speechless. No wonder Zhou Guangming was so retarded. It seemed like his mother's IQ was also damaged. The Zhou family was rich and powerful, but her husband was not to be trifled with either. Huamin had a feeling that a confrontation between money and power was about to take place. Did they want to see who would win in the end? Of course, there was no suspense. What a joke. In Sea City, she didn't think that anyone could compete with Qin Chu in terms of power and money. She had never thought about relying on her husband before, but at this moment, she suddenly had a thought. It was great to have such an awesome husband. As soon as Zhu Lingling got off the plane, she saw Gao Ran's text. "Huamin got into big trouble because of you. Did you know that?" Zhu Lingling immediately lost her cool when she saw the text. She immediately called Gao Ran back. What happened to Huamin? Chapter 336. You don't seem to know anything? Gao Ran probed. "I know your ass, hurry up and tell me what's going on." Ever since she found out that Huamin had lied to her, Zhu Lingling had been feeling uneasy. Deng Kai had also warned her, but she had been living peacefully for the past few days. However, the more peaceful things were, the more uneasy she felt. It was like the calm before the storm. She had already blacklisted Deng Kai, so she didn't have any sources of information. On top of that, Huamin was a wicked guy. He wouldn't have told her about this and made her worry. This wasn't the first time Gao Ran had done something like this. News of Zhou Guangming, Zhu Lingling, and Huamin's incident at Seductive Fox had already spread throughout the upper-class circle. 20 minutes later, Gao Ran drove his Jaguar to pick up Zhu Lingling, and the 2 of them found a restaurant. They ordered a lot of dishes, but Zhu Lingling wasn't in the mood to eat. Gao Ran slowly told Zhu Lingling everything that happened. Zhu Lingling's eyes instantly turned red. "Hey, don't cry, I'm not used to seeing you so weak." Gao Ran didn't expect Zhu Lingling to cry without saying anything. He thought that she would curse at the Zhou family's grandson for at least half an hour. "I dragged Huamin into this, it's all my fault." Zhu Lingling's voice was choked up, and her eyes were filled with guilt. When she heard that the Zhou family had issued an arrest warrant and were suing Huamin at the provincial high court, she felt really bad. She felt like there was a huge rock weighing down on her heart, making it hard for her to breathe. "Don't worry, I'm not done yet." Although the arrest warrant was issued, no one was arrested. Qin Chu called my dad, and my dad settled it. You don't have to worry about the prosecution. With Qin Chu around, no one can touch Huamin. I know Qin Chu is capable, but he also implicated Huamin. I was the one who caused this. It has nothing to do with her. I really regret it. If only I didn't send her a WeChat message that day, then the Zhou family wouldn't be so angry. Gao Ran immediately rolled his eyes at Zhu Lingling. What are you talking about? If Huamin hadn't gone that day, wouldn't you have been harmed by that scumbag Zhou Guangming? But I'd rather do that than implicate Huamin. She's my best friend. I don't want to hurt her. Huamin won't think that way. She won't blame you. Gao Ran tried to persuade her. Boss, give me a bottle of Mao. What do you want, sis? Sister? Gao Ran panicked. I'm depressed. I want to drink some wine. Baijiu is too strong. Why don't you drink beer? No, I want to drink Mao. You don't have to accompany me. I'll drink by myself, Zhu Lingling made a bold statement. Although she said that Gao Ran was the one who arranged the meal. He paid the bill, so naturally he was also the one who accompanied her. In the end, Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling each drank half a kilogram of Maotai and a ton of beer. When they walked out of the restaurant, they couldn't even tell which way was which. You can't drink and drive. I can't break the law, call the price. Gao Ran burped and pulled Zhu Lingling to his car. Then he dialed a number. Hello? Is this 110? Give me the price. 15 minutes later, at the Municipal Public Security Bureau, fortunately, the person on duty was from their branch. If it was someone from another branch, how bad would the impact be? The captain of the Municipal Public Security Bureau was drunk in the middle of the night and actually called 110 to ask for the price? Was this really not deliberately disrupting public order? Looking at the two drunken people, the comrades from the branch were also speechless. Boss, what should we do? This is the first time I've seen boss drink with a woman so late. Are you trying to hit on her? Another policeman asked. In the end, everyone came to the conclusion that they were sent to a 4-star hotel near the branch. Boss, this is all we can help you with. The policeman placed Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran on the luxurious bed, closed the door and left. The next morning, Zhu Lingling turned over in a daze and hugged something. She slowly opened her eyes. When she saw clearly, she screamed, "Ah!" Hearing her scream, Gao Ran also woke up in a daze. When he saw clearly, he was also dumbfounded. Chapter 337. What's going on? Why are you here? Zhu Lingling screamed. How would I know? I was going to ask you that. Gao Ran was also shocked. He was so drunk last night that he couldn't remember much. He only knew that he went out to eat and drink with Zhu Lingling, and then she was in a bad mood, but the question was, how did they end up at the hotel? The worst part was that they were both naked. Zhu Lingling looked down at herself. She didn't even have underwear on. She was crazy. Gao Ran, you pervert, you took advantage of me. Sis, even if I wanted to take advantage of you, I wouldn't do it with someone like you, okay? Bullshit, I'm so pretty. You must have been planning this for a long time. I was wondering why you took me out for dinner out of the blue. I didn't know you were so despicable. Sis, I swear to God, if I wanted to sleep with you, I would have done it years ago. I wouldn't have waited until you were old. Who are you calling old? Zhu Lingling raised her hand to hit Gao Ran. However, she felt a gust of cold wind down there and almost exposed herself. She immediately pulled the blanket over herself again. Perhaps she used too much force, so she pulled the blanket over herself. Gao Ran was left out in the cold, and his entire body turned white. Do you have any morals? Can't you give me half? I'm not wearing any clothes. No one wants to look at you. I want to look at you, okay? Gao Ran was speechless. What they didn't know was that the police officer took off his clothes last night. The police officer called a waitress to take off Zhu Lingling's clothes. He wanted to create an opportunity for them, but they were both drunk and didn't have a chance at all. We didn't do anything last night, right? Zhu Lingling looked at Gao Ran with a crying face. Lord Jesus, I hope nothing happened. Gao Ran put his hands together. What do you mean by this? Seeing Gao Ran's disdainful expression, Zhu Lingling became angry. Calm down. As a senior police officer, I don't think anything happened. First of all, we don't have any hickeys on our bodies or some unknown liquid. After Gao Ran said this, Zhu Lingling subconsciously looked at herself and Gao Ran. Indeed, there was no trace at all. Secondly, there are no condoms in the trash can or on the ground. Zhu Lingling's face darkened. How could he even think of that? Thirdly, if a normal man drank the way I did last night, he probably wouldn't be able to get hard even if he ate a bottle of Viagra. So, based on the above points, nothing happened between us. Zhu Lingling thought about it and felt that what he said made sense. She didn't feel anything strange in her body. Seeing that Zhu Lingling didn't say anything, Gao Ran added, if you don't believe me, we can go to the hospital. You can check if there is something inside. If there is, I will take responsibility for it. I won't take advantage of you. How are you going to take responsibility? Are you going to marry me? Gao Ran didn't say anything. He hadn't even thought about marriage. It was too sudden. Forget it, no matter what happened last night, we'll just pretend nothing happened. After speaking, Zhu Lingling pulled her clothes and immediately put them on under the covers. The two walked out of the hotel one after the other. Both of them looked very uncomfortable. When they returned to the police station, the two young police officers smiled mysteriously and asked, "Boss, did you have fun last night?" "What do you mean?" Gao Ran froze. "Last night, you were drunk and called 110 for a designated driver. When we arrived, we saw that you were flirting with girls, so we sent you guys to the hotel and helped you guys take off your clothes. Of course, the hotel waitress took off your partner's clothes." "Oh, so you guys were the one who did it." Yeah, you don't have to thank us. Just call us Lei Feng." "Very good, Lei Feng. From this month onwards, you two have to work overtime every day until 8 p.m. Otherwise, I'll deduct all of your pay." After speaking, Gao Ran left. "Boss? Is he biting the hand that feeds him?" The two young police officers were instantly dumbfounded. In the morning, on his way to work, Huamin and Zhu Lingling chatted on WeChat. Zhu Lingling was mainly worried about the court. Just then, a black Lamborghini turned the corner and blocked her way. She immediately stepped on the brakes. It was a false alarm. She hung up the phone and was about to yell at the bastard who didn't know how to drive when she saw Su Yu walk out in a white shirt. Chapter 338. Before Huamin could say anything, Su Yu walked over and opened the car door. Then, he looked at Huamin with a complicated expression and said, "Get out." "What?" "I have something to tell you," Su Yu said proudly. He was the one who asked her to come, but he still had a sense of superiority, as expected of the crown prince. "Hurry up, I have to go to work." Huamin didn't hesitate anymore and got out of the driver's seat. She was wearing a coffee-colored trench coat, dark blue pencil pants, and a pair of black heels. She looked very intellectual. She also gave off a comfortable vibe. "You're still in the mood to go to work? Are you a woman with a heart as big as a carrot?" Su Yu was speechless. "How am I magnanimous?" Huamin smiled. She thought that Su Yu's description was very interesting. "Don't you have to go to court in a week?" Huamin's eyes flickered slightly when she heard this. "How did you know? Are you very well informed?" "Everyone in the industry knows. That bastard Zhou Guangming only knows how to bully women." Su Yu had a look of disdain on his face. He could really get rid of a nouveau riche like Zhou Guangming in a matter of minutes. Huamin's reaction was very indifferent. "What do you mean by that? What are you thinking?" Su Yu asked anxiously. Fire was already burning her eyebrows. Why was this woman still so calm? The eunuch was more anxious than the emperor. "What can I think? If they sue me, then I'll go. If I don't go to court, then I'll be punished. If worse comes to worst, I'll just hire a lawyer to defend myself." Huamin said nonchalantly, "It's easy for you to say, but it's not that simple. Do you know that the Zhou family spent 3 million to hire the city's #1 lawyer, Lawyer Zhang? That person is very sarcastic. As long as you give him money, he will say anything. He can turn black into white and white into black. Once he convicts you, you will face jail time. I'm not guilty. Why should I go to jail?" Huamin chuckled. "This world is not as simple as you think. The roads are slippery when it's dark, and the society is complicated. Money can buy the reversal of right and wrong. Do you understand?" Su Yu earnestly preached. "I know. I've always known that this world isn't simple." "Then what do you plan to do?" "Different situations call for different actions." Su Yu, seeing that Huamin was so casual, Su Yu was also speechless. This was not what he had expected. When girls encountered such situations, wouldn't they panic and not know what to do? Or was she asking him for help? Why was Huamin so calm? As expected, she wasn't normal. "If you need my help, then?" Before Su Yu could finish, Huamin immediately interrupted, "No, thank you." "Are you sure?" Su Yu raised his eyebrows. "I'm very sure," Huamin replied without hesitation. "Why?" Su Yu didn't understand. I don't need your help. But I'm a hypocritical person. I don't like owing people favors. Don't worry, I'm helping you for free. I won't use this to threaten you. I'm not that kind of person. I know. Then why don't you want me to help you? Just say the word and I'll make the Zhou family. I really don't need your help. Thank you. It's about time, I have to go to work. After speaking, Huamin turned around and went back into his car. Then he put the car in gear and drove away. Suyu hit a wall early in the morning, so he was in a bad mood. However, this made him even more curious about Huamin. He wanted to see how she was going to get through this. Was her mysterious boyfriend going to make a move? What kind of person was he? Even Huasiqian was afraid of him? Just as he was thinking, Su Yu's phone rang. President Su, something happened at the company. Can you come back? Lisa sounded very anxious. Chapter 339. When Su Yu returned to the headquarters of Imperial Star with a gloomy expression, many people were gathered outside Zhao Qingya's private dressing room. Zhao Qingya sat on the sofa with bandages wrapped around her leg, and her eyes were red. Her manager was carefully taking care of her. On the other side, Lisa and Mian didn't dare to make a sound. Mian's long hair was draped over her shoulders. She lowered her head and didn't dare to make a sound, as if she had done something wrong. President Su, you're back? When the people in the company saw Su Yu return, they all greeted him carefully. President Su, you're finally back. Please come to our Qingya. She tripped over a stupid newbie. We have a lot of work to do these days, and Qingya's leg is so swollen. What should we do? Su Yu glanced at Zhao Qingya's leg, but his expression didn't change at all. When Zhao Qingya saw Su Yu return, she immediately said softly, "It's okay, everyone was too nervous. Mian was just careless. She's a newbie, so she might not know that I'm the only one who can use my dressing room." Mian also explained, "Yeah, President Su, I really didn't know that was Qingya's private dressing room. I was caught in a traffic jam today, and I was afraid that I wouldn't make it for the interview, so I found an empty dressing room." Then what happened to her leg? Did you push her? President Su looked at Mian and asked. No, I didn't do it on purpose. We were just talking, and Qingya was about to leave when she slipped. I just went to help her. Yeah, President Su, she was just being nice and came to help me. Unfortunately, the floor was too slippery, so I fell down. It really has nothing to do with Mian. Please don't blame her. Zhao Qingya seemed to be speaking up for Mian, but in reality, she was targeting her. How could President Su not know? As a senior executive of the company, Lisa didn't side with anyone, but she couldn't stand Zhao Qingya being such a bitch. There's no need to make a big fuss over such a small matter. If the media catches wind of it and writes something bad about it, it won't be good. Mian is a newbie, so it's inevitable that she'll make mistakes. I'll definitely teach her well. However, she'll also bear Xiaoya's medical expenses. I'll deduct it from her salary for the next few months. Is that okay with you? Okay, let's do that. Su Yu didn't seem to be in the mood. He looked at Lisa tiredly and agreed. Just as Su Yu was about to leave, Zhao Qingya stood up and said, President Su, there's something I'd like to talk to you about in private. Su Yu paused and looked back at Zhao Qingya. You can talk to Lisa about business. She'll pass on the message, but don't talk about personal matters. I'm not in the mood to deal with these trivial matters. Since your foot is injured, you should rest well. After speaking, Su Yu turned around and left. Zhao Qingya suddenly felt like she had lost face. Once upon a time, she was Su Yu's most popular woman. Now, she had to go through his assistant for a private conversation? Was it because Su Yu was tired of her and wanted to change her? That shouldn't be the case. Zhao Qingya felt like none of the women around Su Yu could compete with her. Even an international best actress like Annie Leong lost to her. How could she lose to her now? Xiaoya, what's going on between you and President Su? Zhao Qingya's manager asked quietly, sensing that something was wrong. Zhao Qingya smiled bitterly. I don't know what's going on either. Evening, Huamin worked overtime for a while. When she got home, Qin Chu had already prepared a heartwarming meal for her. At the dining table, Huamin slowly took out the court summons from her bag and handed it to Qin Chu. "Mr. Qin, take a look at this." Chapter 340. Qin Chu unhurriedly took the subpoena and glanced at it, but he didn't say anything. "I'm not telling you the truth because I can't clean up this mess. I just think that what you said last time was right. We're husband and wife, so we should tell you everything. As my husband, I think you have the right to know that your wife is being sued, huh?" Huamin smiled casually. "You did well." Qin Chu stared at Huamin, his eyes as gentle as water. Huamin didn't understand what Huamin was saying. "That's how it should be from now on. If anything happens, tell me immediately." "Okay, I got it." Huamin nodded. "Don't worry about this, I'll take care of it. Let's eat." Qin Chu's expression was very relaxed. After he finished speaking, he threw the subpoena to the side and helped Huamin get a bowl of winter melon soup. Looking at Qin Chu's expression, Huamin knew that she would be fine. Her husband was the boss, so even if she poked a hole in the sky, he would take care of it for her, right? "Honey." Huamin wanted to say something, but stopped. Qin Chu looked up at Huamin as if he was waiting for her to continue. "This time, it was a little bad. I did it to save Lingling, but you had to clean up after me because of the trouble I caused. I feel a little bad, so I'll try my best not to cause so much trouble so that you won't have to worry about me." Huamian spoke like a child who had made a mistake. Her eyes were wide open and her red lips were slightly pouted. She was so cute. If they weren't eating, Qin Chu really wanted to push her down and kiss her. "Okay, you've improved. You know how to reflect." Qin Chu nodded. "I'm telling the truth, and I heard that the lawyer the Zhou family hired this time is one of the top lawyers in the country." "So what?" Qin Chu raised his eyebrows in disdain. "I know it's nothing and you don't care, because I know that GK's legal team is top-notch. So you should rest assured. I just want to ask you for a favor." Huamin seemed to be in a difficult position. "What is it?" "Promise me first. Otherwise, I won't tell you." "I don't even know what it is. How can I promise you?" Qin Chu smiled helplessly. "No matter what it is, you have to promise me first, otherwise, I'll never tell you." Sure enough, Huamian used the kill first then beat tactic again, but this tactic always worked on Qin Chu. I promise." Seeing that Qin Chu agreed, Huamin took a deep breath and mustered up the courage to say, "Can you not attend the court hearing in a week? I don't want to ruin your reputation. Right now, your every move will attract attention from all walks of life, and I don't want anyone to see you in court, especially the Zhou family. I'm afraid that they'll take the opportunity to defame GK and you." "Go on." Qin Chu leaned back in his chair and stared at Huamin. "Then, you can help me find a lawyer, but don't use GK's legal team. They're too famous, and everyone knows that they're GK's legal team. If you let me use their legal team, then wouldn't we be exposing our relationship without even being asked? If that happens, GK will be affected, and people will say, 'Look, GK's legal team is helping a woman in a lawsuit.' But do you think you have a good chance of winning with a lawyer defending you?" Qin Chu asked calmly. "We'll see if it's a good chance. Although I was adopted, it was self-defense, and it's not a big deal. Plus, Zhou Guangming was just shocked, and it's not that serious. At most, they'll detain me for a while or compensate me." "Mian," Qin Chu suddenly called out. "Yeah. You're so smart, don't lie to yourself. If you can't convince yourself, how can you convince me?" But Huamin bit her lip. She didn't think that Qin Chu would see through her so quickly. Chapter 341. Just then, Qin Chu added, "You know that since the Zhou family chose to take you to court, it's not as simple as paying money and detaining you. They want you to go to jail. Plus, they went through so much trouble to send you there. They won't stop until you're sentenced to 10 years. Huamin bit down on his lips and didn't say anything. Qin Chu was right. She knew that the Zhou family wouldn't let Huamian go so easily this time. Therefore, if they hired a normal lawyer to defend Huamian, They would lose. If the Zhou family dared to sue Huamian, they must be confident in winning. At a time like this, Huamin wasn't worried about his own safety, but GK's reputation? Was he crazy? But we still can't use GK's lawyer. Huamin was firm in his belief that he wouldn't drag Qin Chu or GK down with him this time. Mian? Promise me, Qin Chu, let me be selfish for once. Don't use GK's lawyer, okay? I don't want this to happen. Really, GK's reputation in this city has been unshakable for decades. I won't be able to bear the brunt of the storm just because of a lawsuit. I don't care about that. Qin Chu actually wanted to say that the only person he cared about was her, but he swallowed the words. But I care. Do you know that I feel burdened? Ever since we got together, you've been taking care of me and helping me solve all my problems. Now you want to sacrifice the company's hard-earned reputation? Those are just worldly possessions. But people can't live without these worldly possessions. Money, power, they may be vulgar, but isn't everyone chasing after them? No one wants to be poor for the rest of their lives, so let's not think of ourselves as so noble. I know you'll help me with Zhou Guangming, but you have to weigh the pros and cons, I promise you. Seeing how stubborn Huamin was, Qin Chu finally compromised. Huamin finally let out a sigh of relief. Thank you for understanding. Have you ever thought about what would happen if you lost the case without a legal team? Qin Chu asked seriously. Huamin smiled slightly. Can you continue to appeal? Qin Chu was speechless. You have so much money, can you bribe the judge? Qin Chu was speechless. Or you can use force. Kidnap Zhou Guangming and threaten his family to withdraw the lawsuit? Qin Chu was speechless. He wanted to say that his wife was indeed a weirdo. She could even think of these things. It seemed that he thought that she was afraid because of this matter. He was really thinking too much. How did she look like she was afraid? I was just joking. Did you really take it seriously? Huamin couldn't help laughing when he saw Qin Chu's tangled expression. However, Qin Chu couldn't bring himself to smile. After dinner, as usual, Huamin lay on Qin Chu's lap and watched TV. Qin Chu, on the other hand, put down all of his work and watched boring TV with her. Honey, yeah? Don't be nervous. I mean if I lose the lawsuit and go to jail, will you miss me? I'll send you a bento box. Huamin felt like her husband was being sarcastic. Are you really my husband? Didn't you give me a free gift when I bought detergent? Qin Chu didn't say anything. He lowered his head and lovingly pinched Huamin's fair face. Hey, I'm serious. Mr. Qin, won't you miss me a lot? Huamin asked coquettishly. Qin Chu sighed. He stroked her hair and said, if you're going to jail, I'll get you out even if I have to spend all my money. Then, Huamin thought he was going to say something touching, but to her surprise, he said, then go home and I'll teach you a lesson. I'm going to jail and you still want to teach me a lesson? Do you have a conscience? You don't care about anything and went to jail. You even threatened me not to use my legal team. Do you have a conscience? That's why I said we're the same. Let's not talk about each other. Qin Chu's lips curled up. After chatting for a while, Huamian began to feel sleepy, and she drifted off to sleep. Qin Chu lowered his head and lovingly kissed her on the forehead. Don't be afraid. With me here, no one can hurt you. His voice was like a magic spell. Chapter 342. A week passed in the blink of an eye, and Huamin took a day off from Southside to prepare for court. The court officially started at 9 a.m., and Huamin woke up at 7:30 a.m. He took a shower and washed his hair. Finally, he picked out a small red suit, black pencil pants, and a black casual shirt from the wardrobe. When black and red matched, it gave people a sense of elegance. Most importantly, Huamin thought that red was a good sign, and she hoped that today would be a peaceful day. Her hair was no longer draped over her shoulders, and she put on light makeup, looking like a white-collar beauty. When she went downstairs for breakfast, Qin Chu saw her, and his eyes flashed with slight surprise. He always knew that his Mian had a great foundation, and once she put on makeup, she wouldn't lose to those international superstars. You're in a good mood today? Of course, I can't lose face first. I heard that wearing red is a good sign, so I hope that today will be a smooth day. Huamin slowly sipped on a glass of milk. I will. Don't go to court today, okay? I know. What about the lawyer? I've found a lawyer for you, he'll be there on time. He's not from GK, so don't worry, Qin Chu added. Thank you, Mr. Qin. Huamin smiled sweetly. She was very satisfied with Qin Chu's arrangements. Huamin was afraid that Qin Chu would go, because there would be a lot of people in court, and she was afraid that people would gossip about Qin Chu. People were strange, and Huamin was never afraid of people gossiping about her, no matter how unpleasant it was. However, she couldn't stand it if someone was slandering Qin Chu. It was as if she was wronged, plus, she didn't want Qin Chu to see her in such a sad state, because this time, she had no chance of winning. If Qin Chu didn't intervene, who knew what would have happened? Huamin believed that good people would be rewarded. Although she wasn't a pervert, she was dedicated and had saved many people. This time, Zhou Guangming attempted to rape her, drugged Ling Ling, and even tried to molest her. If she ended up in jail because of this, then there would be no justice in the world. After breakfast as usual, the two of them left the house. Qin Chu didn't even tell her what to do, but that was good, because it would lessen her psychological burden. It's not of a murder case, of the eyes of Az's a murder case, however. So you also said that the Zhous had a lot of connections, so it seemed like today was going to be a dangerous day. At the entrance of the provincial people's court, Huamin saw the Zhou's family. Zhou Guangming was surrounded by 7 or 8 people, like stars surrounding the moon. As they walked in, when he saw Huamin, he turned his head and pretended not to see her. Huamin thought that he hated her to the core, but that wasn't the case. Zhou Guangming was still traumatized when he saw Huamin. Zhou Guangming's mother, on the other hand, said aggressively, "Little bitch, just wait and see how we deal with you. You're already so old you should watch your mouth. After all, you only have one son." Huamin's words made Zhou Guangming's mother's expression change. She didn't say anything else and walked in. Behind her was a skinny man in his 30s. He had slanted eyebrows and a crying face. However, looking at his suit and leather shoes and carrying a professional briefcase, he should be the lawyer hired by the Zhou family, right? Huamin was just about to walk in when she heard someone call her name. Huamin. Let's go in, Huamin said as he looked at the time on his phone. Then, the three of them walked into the courtroom. Their court session was held in Hall 1. The hall wasn't big, but it was very solemn. Huamin walked to the defendant's stand and glanced at her lawyer's seat. It was still empty. He wondered what kind of person Qin Chu arranged to defend her. Just as he was thinking, the sound of footsteps suddenly attracted everyone's attention. Faint gasps of surprise could be heard from the crowd. The moment he saw Su Yu, Zhou Guangming was the first to lose his cool. He seemed to be a little excited. "President Su, why are you here?" I'm so flattered. Why didn't you tell me you were coming? I could have asked my driver to pick you up." If he interfered, he would be asking for trouble. Okay, maybe this is my little sister's charm. Wuxia and Su Yu chatted idly. Just then, the judge and jury walked in one after another. "Everyone, please be quiet. I now announce both sides' lawyers," the judge said with a serious expression. Zhou Guangming's lawyer, Zhang Xiaocheng, was the first to enter. No one was surprised by him, because the Zhou family had already spent millions to hire Zhang Xiaocheng to represent them. However, when Huamin's lawyer walked in, the entire room fell silent. Wuxia and Gao Ran both thought it would be GK's legal team, but it wasn't. When an old man with white hair walked out, Su Yu and the others' expressions all changed. Wei Liao couldn't stay calm and cursed, "What the fuck? Am I seeing things? Who is that guy?" Su Yu and Wuxia didn't say anything, but they were all shocked. Gao Ran was also dumbfounded. "Oh my god. Qin Chu is such a psycho. I can't believe they invited him." Chapter 345. Who is it? Why are you making such a big fuss? Everyone seems surprised. Zhu Lingling didn't understand. She looked carefully and didn't recognize Huamin's lawyer. Wasn't he just an ordinary-looking old man with white hair? Was someone like him really able to help Huamin turn the tables and win against the Zhou family? However, when Zhu Lingling saw that Gao Ran and the others were shocked, she realized that something wasn't right. Gao Ran explained with a serious face, Dennis Wu, 57 years old, Chinese-American, from Yale Law School, a professor specially hired by the US FBI, and a lawyer hired by the US Interpol. He once took on the case of a certain US Secretary of State's assistant, as well as the case of Tony Marshall, the highly intelligent criminal mastermind who shocked the world. He successfully sent the cunning criminal to prison and was crowned as the greatest lawyer in Chinese history. After hearing Gao Ran's admiring introduction, Zhu Lingling was completely dumbfounded. So, such a big shot came here to defend Huamin? That should be it. I knew that even if Qin Chu wasn't here, the court would still be shocked. Gao Ran knew Qin Chu well, so he wasn't worried that something would happen to Huamin. Compared to the others' shock, Huamin was quite calm. She didn't even know who Dennis Wu was, but she had seen him on TV and in magazines. So, is that really Dennis Wu? Wei Liao was still in disbelief. It's a bit unexpected. Su Yu couldn't help but feel emotional. He had only met Dennis Wu once when he was studying in the US. It was at the time when he gave a speech in their local city. The Americans respected this Chinese old man very much. Now that he was able to meet Huamin's lawyer, Su Yu suddenly realized that Huaxiqian hadn't been bragging before. The person behind Huamin was indeed very powerful. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to invite Dennis Wu. One had to know that this wasn't someone who could be hired with money and authority. All right, I admit that I was shocked too, Huaxiqian muttered to himself. He knew that Qin Chu would not let Huamin be wronged, but he did not expect that he would invite Dennis Wu. Was he making a big fuss over nothing? The Zhou family did not know who Dennis Wu was, so they did not react. On the other hand, their lawyer Zhang Xiaochang's face turned green. When he was studying in the United States, his mentor was said to be Dennis Wu's student. In other words, Dennis Wu was his private advisor. He instantly felt a great pressure on him. He could already predict the outcome of the lawsuit against the private advisor. The process was needless to say. Mrs. Zhou, let's withdraw the lawsuit. Don't fight anymore. Lawyer Zhang, what's wrong? Mrs. Zhou looked confused. We can't win. Lawyer Zhang looked dispirited. How is that possible? Didn't you just say that we had victory in our hands? Plus, we have important evidence. If we don't fight, then all our preparation would have been for nothing. Plus, we spent so much money to hire you. Mrs. Zhou was clearly annoyed. I can return the money to you without taking a single cent. It doesn't matter how much evidence you have. Plus, from what I know, the truth is that your son is at fault. The defendant, Mrs. Hua, acted in self-defense, right? Hey, I say, why are you siding with an outsider? Whose side are you on exactly? What are you talking about? Mrs. Zhou was clearly unhappy with Lawyer Zhang's words. Chapter 346. Mrs. Zhou, there's no way we can fight this case. The other party's lawyer is my private advisor, do you understand? He's the teacher of my teacher in the States. What? Mrs. Zhou was no longer calm. Dennis Wu is very good. There's no need to fight, let's just admit defeat. Otherwise, it would be a waste of time. Plus, if the other party can hire someone like Dennis Wu, they must have a powerful background. It's best if you don't mess with them, Mr. Zhang kindly warned. Stop trying to scare us. We've already investigated her thoroughly. She's just a head nurse at a hospital. She doesn't have much of a background. Other than being the illegitimate daughter of the Hua family, there's nothing suspicious about her. Also, I heard that she's already cut ties with the Hua family. The Hua family won't care about her. We didn't pay you to listen to nonsense. Hurry up and fight this lawsuit for us, or else, we won't let this go. Mrs. Zhou insisted and even threatened Zhang Xiaochang. Your Honor, I'm ready. can we begin? Dennis Wu spoke in fluent Mandarin. He was elegant, gentle, and polite. Huamin looked at Dennis Wu gratefully. Thank you for your help, uncle. In the 57 years of Dennis Wu's life, he was the calmest defendant he had ever seen. He even called him uncle warmly. How cute. He nodded slightly at Huamin to show that he understood. On the other hand, Zhang Xiaochang was already sweating profusely. If he fought this case even though he knew he was going to lose, it might affect his future career as a lawyer. As a lawyer, the higher the winning rate, the more valuable he was. He had been in the industry for 7 or 8 years and had never lost a single case. Especially in the past few years, he had been doing very well. If he lost today, it would be difficult for him to continue in the industry. Plus, his opponent this time was his private advisor. If his teacher found out, it would be troublesome. No matter how he looked at it, Mr. Zhang didn't want to fight this case. Unfortunately, Mrs. Zhou refused to give up. Her tone was aggressive, so Zhang Xiaochang had no choice but to bite the bullet. Next, please ask your questions, the judge announced. Zhang Xiaochang resisted the pressure and slowly walked up to Huamin. He took a deep breath and asked, Ms. Hua, I have a few questions for you. Please consider them carefully before you answer. Okay, Huamin's voice was crisp and pleasant, causing ripples in Su Yu's heart. Excuse me, where were you on September 6th at 11:20 p.m.? At Seductive Fox nightclub. With whom? What did you do? To pick up my friend, Miss Zhu Lingling. She's drunk. What happened next? Lawyer Zhang asked. Huamin paused for a moment and said slowly, I saw Lingling being held in Zhou Guangming's arms. She didn't respond when I called out to her. She was already unconscious, so I suspected that she had been drugged. Excuse me, Zhu Lingling might have been drunk. You can't accuse my client of drugging her. That's not fair. At this moment, Dennis Wu immediately raised his hand. I object. If the other party's lawyer interrupted my client, it would make her recollections of that night deviate from what she remembered. This could lead to mistakes in her narration of the events. This is an invisible form of inducement. Objection sustained. Plaintiff's lawyer, please wait for the defendant to finish his statement before continuing to ask questions. Zhang Xiaochang's expression changed slightly, and the pressure in his heart increased once again. Dennis Wu looked at Huamin kindly. Please continue. Lingling is a good drinker, so she would never pass out no matter how much she drinks. Plus, she was there with her boyfriend that night. Why was she lying in Zhou Guangming's arms with her clothes disheveled? I saw Zhou Guangming touching her, so I angrily went up to stop him. Then we got into an argument. Chapter 347. But as far as I know, my client said that he didn't do anything to Zhu Lingling, all he did was have a drink with her. Ms. Hua, you are purely framing me and trying to excuse yourself from stabbing my client with the bottle. I'm not framing you, it's the truth, Huamin argued. What truth? The truth that you stabbed my client? Huamin was speechless. It felt terrible to be forced into a corner by a lawyer like this. Huamin knew that she couldn't say everything, and she couldn't say too much either. If she denied it, the opposing lawyer would take advantage of the loopholes in her words. The plaintiff's lawyer has finished his questioning. It's the defendant's turn. Dennis Wu didn't even walk off the stage. Instead, he said directly to the judge, I give up on questioning the defendant because I don't think he would be telling the truth even if he did. Therefore, I would like to make a statement. Defendant's lawyer, please make your statement. The judge extended his hand to approve. According to the information in my hands, my client, Ms. Huamin, has an excellent reputation and character. She has disregarded the rules and regulations twice to save someone and won the appreciation of her superiors. A person like her wouldn't stab someone who has nothing to do with her for no reason. Everything happens for a reason, so I believe that the defendant must have done something that provoked my client. My client must have done something to protect herself. After all, there were more than 20 people present at the scene, and they were all friends of the defendant. Other than the drunk Miss Zhu Lingling, my client was all alone. Under these circumstances, The fact that the plaintiff was injured can only mean that he forced my client into a corner. In the end, my conclusion is that the plaintiff is hiding something from me and is trying to push all the blame onto my client. I object. Everything the opposing lawyer said is only speculation. It's not the truth, so you can't draw a conclusion. Zhang Xiaochang was a little agitated. Dennis Wu smiled. My conclusion is my personal one. It's only for the judge and jury to use as a reference. You don't have to be nervous. Overruled. Thinking that Dennis Wu's argument was reasonable, the judge directly rejected Zhang Xiaochang's argument. Seeing how obvious the situation was, Wei Liao took out a piece of chewing gum and said, "The Zhou family is going to make a fool of themselves today. They shot themselves in the foot. What's the saying again? If you don't ask for it, you won't die. Everything was going well, but you fucking chose to sue a little girl. Now that you've seen Dennis Wu, are you stupid?" The Zhou family doesn't seem to know Dennis Wu, Su Yu said calmly. It's normal that they don't know each other. They're nouveau riche. What else do they have in their eyes other than money? But even if their heads were slanted, did Zhang Xiaochang's head also grow to his buttocks? As a well-known lawyer in the country, it's impossible that he doesn't know his own private advisor, right? Zhang Xiaochang probably wants to die right now. Maybe he was too nervous, so there were a lot of loopholes. Dennis Wu easily caught on to them. There's no suspense in this lawsuit anymore. We can book a restaurant in advance and have lunch right away, Hua Xiqian laughed. But I'm curious, who hired Hua Xiqian's lawyer? Don't tell me it was you? Wei Liao looked at Hua Xiqian and chuckled. I'm not that capable. Dennis Wu isn't someone that can be hired with money. Why don't you ask young Master Su if it was him? It wasn't him. It's not his style to hire a lawyer. If he were to do it, the Zhou family would probably go bankrupt in 3 days. They wouldn't be in the mood to go to court. The Su family style has always been to eliminate the source of trouble, Wei Liao joked. Su Yu remained silent. Even though he already knew that Huamin would be fine, he still couldn't bring himself to laugh. He had a vague feeling that if he wanted to pursue Huamin, he would have to get past Huamin's powerful boyfriend. And her boyfriend, someone who could hire Dennis Wu, was definitely not someone to be trifled with. Zhang Xiaochang saw that his disadvantage was becoming more and more obvious. He was so anxious that his forehead was covered in sweat. He said anxiously, "Your Honor, we need to provide an important video." Chapter 348. Granted. After the judge nodded in agreement, Zhang Xiaochang took a USB from his assistant. Then he handed it to the jury. The jury put it on the computer and played it on the big screen. The horrifying scene from that night replayed itself on the screen. Huamin was holding Zhou Guangming hostage with a broken beer bottle pressed against Zhou Guangming's throat. Big Brother Zhou. Zhou Guangming's subordinates realized what was going on and rushed towards Huamin. "Don't come over, or else he's dead." Huamin pushed the beer bottle against Zhou Guangming's neck. The sharp glass immediately pierced through the skin on Zhou Guangming's neck, causing him to wail in pain. "It hurts, don't come over, go back." Crack. That was all it took to stop the movie. Zhang Xiaochang cleared his throat and said, "That night, it was my client's birthday, and he was drinking with so many friends. However, after the defendant came, she turned the scene upside down. Without saying a word, she actually used violence against my client. Based on the analysis of the weapon in her hand, the defendant looked like she wanted to kill my client. I wrongly concluded that the defendant intended to murder him." Your Honor, I object. My client, Ms. Huamin, and Zhou Guangming did not know each other, nor did they have any relationship. There is no reason for her to commit premeditated murder. The term plaintiff is misplaced. Sustained. Your Honor, I object. I was only stating my conjecture. The defendant's lawyer also made his own conjecture and gave the jury a suggestion. If he can do it, why can't I? Zhang Xiaochang was obviously not convinced. Even though he was Zhou Guangming's private advisor, he shouldn't bully people like this. Dennis Wu laughed and replied, "Even though I was only making a conjecture, it was only a guess of what happened. You, on the other hand, have inferred that my client committed premeditated murder without any evidence. This is intentional slander and framing. Plaintiff's lawyer, please watch your words. The judge reminded him again. Zhang Xiaochang's expression became uglier and uglier, as expected of his private advisor. He was indeed meticulous. Mom, why do I feel like this lawyer Zhang is a coward? Is he reliable or not? Zhou Guangwei, the youngest daughter of the Zhou family, asked anxiously. Who knows? Isn't he one of the top lawyers in the country? I hope our money doesn't go to waste, or else I won't forgive him. Mrs. Zhou said fiercely. Okay, I was wrong. Let me correct you. I suspect that the defendant, Madame Huamin, wanted to kill my client. After watching this video, I believe that everyone will have their own judgment. Your Honor, what a coincidence. We also have this video, but we are more comprehensive than the one provided by the plaintiff. Please watch the entire video before coming to a conclusion. Present it. The judge nodded. Zhang Xiaochang's face immediately changed. He walked over and whispered to Mrs. Zhou, didn't you say that the complete video has been erased? Why do they still have it? That can't be. We spent a lot of money to hire a hacker to hack into Seductive Fox's surveillance and steal this video. Then, we erased the original version. This can't be wrong, right? Mrs. Zhou was dumbfounded. Her subordinates had always been reliable, so they shouldn't have made such a fatal mistake. Zhou Guangwei also had a look of disdain on her face. My brother is going to lose for sure with your cowardly excuses. How could a lawyer like you lose to an old man? You don't live up to your reputation. Miss Zhou, that's not an ordinary old man. Please go to Google and search for Dennis Wu. Thank you. Lawyer Zhang, what should we do now? Mrs. Zhou was a little flustered. Let's wait and see. If it's true, then we're going to lose for sure. Lawyer Zhang's face was ashen. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.